In this presentation, we will first provide an introduction to our chosen topic of communication and conflict resolution and the importance of this subject in a workplace environment. We will then compare three theories with a strong focus on the cognitive dissonance theory, followed by an analysis of relevant empirical evidence. We will then be exploring a case study on the New Horizons University Dental School in depth, linking theory to practice. Finally, we will provide some concluding remarks and suggestions, as well as potential limitations to conclude our presentation. Communication involves the exchange of information through verbal or written means, while conflict stems from a disagreement between parties due to opposing views on a subject. Generally, effective communication plays a significant role in resolving conflict. Communication affects workplace relations and successful work delivery, while simultaneously, conflict affects work productivity and the physiological state of employees. Understanding conflict management styles can increase health professionals' positive conflict outcomes and lead to improved relationships, increased job satisfaction, and increased retention of professionals. Communication and conflict is a broad topic that encompasses a variety of theories. One of these theories include Bert's systems theory, which is further developed in Wake's organizational information theory. Systems theory states that reality displays an inherent organizational character. He argues that open systems are superior as traditional closed system models are insufficient for explaining large classes of phenomena. This leads to the organizational information theory, where the core belief of Wake is that, as opposed to being structurally driven, organizations are process-driven. The goal of this theory is to eradicate both ambiguity and complexity from workplace. Another theory within the realm of communication and conflict is Giddens' structuration theory, which suggests that human agency and social structure are related to each other. This means that while there are social structures such as traditions and moral codes, these can still be changed as people begin to ignore, replace, and reproduce them. Comparatively, structuration theory explores how organization change and evolve, whereas the systems theory, including both Bert and Wake's work, favors stability and harmony over change, as innovation is often characterized as an anomaly. While these theories are prudent in understanding communication and resolving conflict, the main theory our group will be focusing on today is the cognitive dissonance theory. This theory argues that the experience of dissonance is unpleasant and people are highly motivated to avoid it. People strive for consistency in their attitudes, and a lack of this leads to discomfort, which can lead to alterations in one of our attitudes. The reason we change our attitudes is because it is a defense mechanism to reduce the discomfort we feel between inconsistencies. For example, say that an individual is a smoker, but at the same time, they also think that they have an attitude that smoking leads to cancer. Clearly, there is an obvious contradiction as there is an inconsistency. This is dissonance. But because we like balance and harmony, these contradictions are not welcome. When we have these contradictions, we may do 4 different things to our cognitions to alter our attitudes in order to reduce this discomfort. The first is modifying the cognitions. So in this case, the smoker may say that I don't really smoke that much, and therefore slightly modifying the original statement. The second is to trivialize. They will change the importance of their cognition by saying that the evidence is weak that smoking causes cancer. The third way is to add more cognitions. In this case, they may say that they exercise so much that it doesn't even matter that I smoke. The final way is to deny that the cognitions are even related. So in this case, believing that smoking and cancer aren't even linked. The main thing to take away from this is that in general, we strive for harmony. And when this does not exist and we possess contradictions in the way we act and think, this can lead to poor communication with others, which can eventually lead to conflict in the workplace. According to the theory, in their efforts to avoid feelings of dissonance, people will avoid hearing views that oppose their own, change their beliefs to match others, and seek reassurance after making a difficult decision. In support of this, we sought to find some evidence which studied the role of cognitive dissonance in group dynamics, and found the work of researchers David Matz and Wendy Wood. The study included research which examined how cognitive dissonance theory extended and refined Festinger's initial ideas to demonstrate group-induced dissonance. The authors conducted 2 studies to show how dissonance is generated and resolved in discussion groups. The first measured whether attitude heterogeneity in groups is experienced as dissonance. A total of 189 people participated in the study. Each of them needed to participate in an introductory psychological course and needed to complete the attitude survey about other members. Furthermore, they needed to finish the emotion measure and rated their reaction to the group. The second determined whether or not disagreement generates anxiety because of cognitive consistency pressure or alternative motives associated with interaction and consensus seeking. All participants in this study believed that other members were consistently in disagreement and that each of them would be assigned to 3 different conditions, which were low choice, self-affirmation, and high choice. The first study showed that students in a group with others who apparently disagreed with them experience greater dissonance discomfort than those in a group with others who agree. The second study, however, illustrated that standard mediators of dissonance in past research provided a lack of choice and opportunity to self-affirm. In following with these notions, we chose a case study which discusses the dissonance and conflict experienced during the transition of a dental school in New Horizons University. There was a significant increase in the demands on the faculty that caused pressure as they had to increase revenue through research grants and clinics, uphold innovations in treatment and technology, and maintain the existing curriculum. The New Horizons administration was determined to increase the use of non-tenured track faculty to reduce the pressure. As a result, there was a shift in the faculty profile, hence differences in assignments and expectations became more evident. The disparities among faculty position descriptions were widening, members were complaining about each other, and the relationships were deteriorating. The main conflicts in this case were the inequality of pay between faculties, as some faculties obtained higher base salaries and fewer hours of scheduled activities. Employees of lower base salaries complained that salaries do not value their promised contributions to the schools. This caused dissonance, as individuals possessed contradicting beliefs on whether they deserved their current salaries in comparison to others. Complaints were made to each other for not bearing their own responsibility and seizing the non-tenure track faculty. The tense and aggressive work environment meant that employees were acting in a way that contradicted their beliefs simply because many followed the lead of others in their faculty. In general, the various approaches that would help solve conflict in this case include avoidance, negotiation, competition, and collaboration. As mentioned from the empirical evidence, attribution, conflict perception, and perceived social distance could affect the procedural preference in which employees of the dental school found suitable for the negotiation and collaboration. These solutions would increase the interaction and understanding of the personal perception and attribution of employees through discussions and decision-making. Specifically, negotiation presumes that both parties are willing to make smaller concessions for the greater good. Members of the facilities would negotiate for a decent solution which benefit both sides on the use of the facility by addressing the issues to higher management instead of complaining about others in the faculty. Also, collaboration creates a win-win situation by setting goals which meet both members' goals and needs. Collaboration which encourages introspection of behaviour and communication. This would increase the success of teams as they engage in collaborative problem solving, creating a better understanding between members and boosting morale, and ultimately reducing conflicts in order to enhance the working environment. In general, it can be said that when feelings of dissonance arise, instead of avoiding opposing views, conflict can be resolved by having wide, open, and honest channels with not only other faculties, but higher management, so that the problem can be resolved instead of making unnecessary complaints to those not in a position to make change and being aggressive with other faculties to the point where relationships break down and the environment becomes difficult to work in. In conclusion, we have explored the importance of communication and conflict resolution in maintaining an effective and healthy workplace. Effective communication is a crucial element to drive the success of any individual or team in the workplace and allows organisations to produce higher rates of productivity and achieve their desired goals. In particular, we have thoroughly examined the need for understanding and managing conflict in the workplace and its respective theories. We recommend that organisations should adapt the strengths of the theories discussed previously in our presentation by including wide, open channels of communication. In turn, the organisation will ultimately achieve a stronger sense of coherence within the workplace environment. These factors combined with the effective communication will aid in the achievement of the innate goal of conflict resolution through strategies such as avoidance, negotiation, competition, collaboration by all individuals, organisations, as well as the greater society as a whole.